We had to evict a professional squatter, and here's exactly what happened. So you know those people who say real estate is passive income and you don't need any money to start investing in real estate? Yeah, today's story is for them. We just got one of our rental properties back after 6 months, and let me tell you, this was not your average tenant. This wasn't a tenant that fell on hard times and couldn't pay. This was a professional squatter. They knew exactly what they were doing. These are the kind of people, they know the system like the back of their hand. So here's exactly how we got ourselves into this mess. We recently hired a brand new property management company to help lease one of our rental properties. What they did was put a lockbox on the house and then shared the information in the lockbox code to what we thought were other professionals, right? But somehow along the way, the lockbox code ended up in the wrong hands. Someone who wasn't authorized gained access to the property, put the code in, got the key, walked inside, and said, "I live here now." Started getting calls from agents saying that they tried to show the property, but someone was not allowing them to go inside. So we're like, that's weird because we don't even have a signed lease agreement. We spoke with a property management company and they said that they were going to look into it. Then we get a phone call from the tenant. She was sobbing, crying, saying that she signed the lease agreement with quote unquote realtor and she paid the deposit up front, and she didn't have any more money and didn't know what to do because she thought that I went to us, and apparently this realtor was a scammer and she has kids. She didn't know what to do, and she was going to figure it out by the end of the month. She was going to call the cops, whatever the case may be. So we just thought that was a little fishy, right? So then we called the property management and we said, hey, give us a list of all the people that you shared the code to. And they said they don't know how she started living there, and they told us there must have been a system glitch that resulted in the lockbox code being shared with someone that it shouldn't have been. Sounds like negligence to me. Whether it was a mistake or not, it turned out to be a very expensive lesson for us. Landlords generally have to follow the legal eviction process rather than taking matters into their own hands, unfortunately. So that means serving the required notice, filing an eviction case if the occupants don't leave, going through the court process. If the landlord wins and the occupants still don't leave, obtaining a writ of possession. Finally, a constable carries out the removal if necessary, which was deemed necessary in this case because those tenants ended up being very violent whenever someone from the property management team went over there to try to talk to them. Let's just say that this was not their first rodeo. They had a long history of eviction related issues. These people knew exactly how to work the system. And meanwhile, we were over there like, can someone really just get the code and start living in your house without permission? Apparently, yes. So today, the constable arrived to carry out the writ of possession. Thankfully, they did not completely destroy the house. However, they did break the door frame. So our first project, besides cleaning and taking everything out to the front lawn, it was actually figuring out how we're able to lock the house again. Because here's another fun fact. If someone gets back inside before you secure the property, you could end up dealing with another legal headache and have to do the eviction process all over again from day one. So thankfully, the damage wasn't nearly as bad. We got that figured out while the cops were still there. This experience reinforced a few things for us. First, make sure that you vet the companies that you trust with your properties, because if not, something like this can happen to literally anyone. Second, keep cash reserves. Real estate is never as simple as just collecting rent every single month. Unexpected situations like this happen and you need to be financially prepared for them. And finally, don't try to handle situations like it's your own. Follow the legal process and let the proper authorities do their job. Real estate has been one of the best wealth building tools for us, honestly, but stories like this are a reminder that it's not always easy and things really do hit the fan and real quick. With this, you learn, you adjust your systems, and you just keep moving forward because there's no plan B. If you've ever had a tenant or squatter from another planet, tell me your story in the comments. I promise it'll make me feel a little bit better. And if you like this kind of content, subscribe and follow for more.